only reason we have become this dark feminine energy is because we've been in relationships that made us feel unsafe. And it's not even relationships, right? Even in the gym, you've had a guy come up to you who you didn't have a relationship with, but he made you feel unsafe. And all of these things are protection mechanisms. The nice person has been hurt so much that they're suddenly the villain. You guys, when you see this idea of dark feminine energy, when you see this idea of the bad bitch, all I see is a villain. Like, and villains only come from being hurt, right? Whenever you watch the movies of the origin story of the villain, it's someone who's coming from a hurting place. So darkness, bad bitch, all these things are a villain response. It's a protective response to someone who has been hurt, to someone who has been betrayed. If you like to be in your feminine energy, you're looking for that provider, protector energy and a masculine energy in a guy. Oh my God, like the whole Roman Empire TikTok trend that's happening where they're just like, yeah, like guys are like conquerors, whatever, builder, you know, that kind of thing. You're looking for that kind of masculine energy in a guy. You will only find that when you're in your feminine. As long as you are this kind of bad bitch, closed off, dark feminine energy, if that is your vibe, imagine how much of life you're blocking out because you have this angry villain view towards everything. You want to try to mistreat me, I'll treat you even worse. Controlling this and that, you know, when you have this kind of villain energy, or even RBF, resting bitch face, I have noticed. And like, you know, you have to read a room, you guys. If you feel like you're in an unsafe situation, don't walk around with a soft smile on your face. But my life has been so much more open and flowy. A lot more masculine men started coming into my life. Even when I just look more approachable, when I'm happy with myself, I'm not this person. Really, what is dark feminine energy? What is dark anything, right? It's the villain versus the hero. The villain only exists from someone who has been hurt, right? You really want to work on being in your light feminine energy. There's no need to, the villain is trying to exert power. The villain is trying to control. The hero, the light feminine energy, is gentle, it's with flow, it's open. And that doesn't mean you're stupid, right? That doesn't mean you're stupid. The hero is not stupid, but the source of where they act from is love. They're not acting from all these defensive mechanisms because they've been hurt. And it's really sad that as women, we feel so emotionally unsafe in this world, so physically unsafe in this world, that we have to have RBF to repel men who want to hit on us. If you're in New York, you feel like, oh my God, someone's gonna grab me if I don't look tough, you know? When you have that tough face, it's because you've been exposed to tough circumstances. So try to, as much as you can, be in a place where you feel like you can have a soft smile walking around. Again, I'm not stupid, but as much as I can in places, in public places where I feel safe, this is my resting face, because I'm at peace, I'm happy. And not to say I haven't been hurt before or betrayed before, not to say I wasn't in my dark feminine energy for a while, but the villain has healed herself. The villain has gone to therapy, and now she's very, very happy throughout her day. And the thing of why this works and why this softness attracts masculine men is when you're deep in your feminine energy, you're free, you're almost childlike, you're just so happy, creative, not stressing. And even in business, you guys, even in your work, you can be in your feminine energy, okay? please, in life, in work, in how you dress, try to be true to yourself. Don't try to be true to what you think make you equal to a man or will make men respect you. It's not your job to make him respect you. If it's a safety situation, you're walking down a scary street in the middle of the night, I get it. You want to have an RBF. But as much as you can, try to send out this light, happy, I'm very content with myself. I come from gentle surroundings, right? The only reason we have become this dark feminine energy is because we've been in relationships that made us feel unsafe. And it's not even relationships, right? Even in the gym, you've had a guy come up to you who you didn't have a relationship with, but he made you feel unsafe. And all of these things are protection mechanisms. The hero, the nice person, has been hurt so much that they're suddenly the villain. And if you are viewing through a villain's eyes, imagine you will just keep getting that. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen this show Suits, but you know how Louis Litt, he just always has this idea that everyone's out to get him, and that ends up, he starts acting in that way, and that just ends up becoming his reality. His paranoia, his anger of things that haven't even happened, but he's already upset about them, and then it just ends up becoming his reality because he starts acting in a way defensively, and people think he's moving like a villain. You know what I'm saying? So if you move in gentleness, you number one will trigger that protector thing in the guys who are coming into your life. When you're so gentle and soft, the men who come in your life want to protect that, preserve that, keep you in your gentleness, keep you in your softness. I've never been one to raise my voice in general, but I don't raise my voice. I don't force, I don't pull. If I don't like something, I'm just like, I'm sorry, that's not for me. That doesn't sound like a good fit. Or I'm silent. Like, I don't push and pull and say, hey, you're supposed to do this for me, you're supposed to do that for me. If I don't like how something is happening, I either communicate, my needs really, really gently, the way a light feminine energy would, or I leave because I need to find someone who can naturally meet my needs. I don't want to find someone where it's a struggle for him to be the partner that I'm looking for. I don't want to use force. I don't want to use will. I don't want to use pushing and pulling. I am as light and airy as I possibly can when I'm at the grocery store. Even when I'm at the gym, I feel pretty safe in my gym. This is my face. This is the face of a lot of women. I'm sorry, I'm like kind of laughing, but RBF, right? And it all just comes from because so many women don't feel safe in their surroundings. So many women don't feel safe walking around the street, and that comes from a villain mentality, right? You've been hurt so much that now you need all these defensive barriers. But if you let go of those defensive barriers, if you just are smiley and open and friendly, and you don't have this kind of closed off demeanor about you, you will find so many more people approach you. Life feels so much more of a flow. It's so much more exciting versus it's a constipated existence. I love that word quote. It's a constipated existence when your face is constipated, okay? But when you have an openness, life is open, your existence is open, and that doesn't mean you shouldn't be intentional and know where you want to go, but you want to be in your feminine energy, because when I see bad bitch, when I see dark feminine energy, when I see things to do to repel men, all you see is a woman who has been hurt by men repeatedly, whether it's emotionally, whether it's because every day you have to take the street to work and you feel like you don't feel safe with all these guys around you and whatever. Like, even just the construction worker stereotype where like you have to have an RBF when you're walking past construction workers. But now, like, unless it's like a really, really safety situation, like I am just so open. I laugh at everything. And guys hit on me now, just like, ha ha ha, thank you, have a good one. Instead of like, if it's a safe environment, if it's safe, if you don't want to be polite and welcoming, read a room, okay? Read a room. I don't want to get anyone into like dangerous situations or ever make men think it's okay. Like if he's saying something inappropriate, that's different than, hi, you're very beautiful, something, right? Then I like laugh it off. I'm like, thank you, da, da, da. But I know a lot of women who will even like take, hi ma'am, you're so beautiful, offensively. And if it really is just like kind, respectful words coming in a respectful tone, smile and be open to it. Your life will open up so much more when you don't have this villain mask on because of all the ways that you've been hurt. You're just trying to defend yourself from having that experience again. And you as a woman will feel so much more relaxed when you're in your feminine energy, when you're in your doe eyes, and that allows a man to step into his place of like masculine energy, protector, provider, all that stuff. But and when you are this kind of relaxed presence, it triggers that protector in him. You know what I mean? But if you are competing with him, if you both are trying to be whatever the like in your energy, you're gonna exhaust yourself if that's not natural to you. If you feel like your feminine energy is where you're happiest, you're gonna exhaust yourself doing that. And that doesn't mean you don't have career goals. I'm just saying you can do your career in your feminine energy, okay? Sarah Blakely, billionaire, founder of Spanx, she says she takes a very, very feminine approach to business. She doesn't like the masculine approach. She doesn't enjoy it. It's not natural to her. And if she engages in behaviors that are not natural to her, she will find herself very miserable and very burnt out. So you can get your wealth, you can achieve your goals in your feminine energy, just because the majority of what you're looking at is masculine success that was achieved using masculine energy just because of inequality and opportunities, right? Women just haven't been allowed to work as long as men. So you think, okay, for me to get man success, I have to use masculine energy. You don't. You can get success, you can get women's success, which is still the same money amount, right? A man billionaire is not different than a woman billionaire, and you can do it in a feminine energy, in a way that's natural to you. Don't try to do things the way men do them. Try to do things the way women do them, and you will still financially end up in the same place. You will still be equal. You don't have, it's just because you've been not brainwashed, but that's the only examples you see, right? You have only seen men presidents, so you will think, okay, I've got to be a man to become a president. I've got to do things like a man. And until we have a woman president who is true in her feminine nature, we won't, it's hard for women to see themselves as a future president. But yeah, you don't need to do it in this whatever Roman Empire stereotype way, whatever way that works really well for them and is really natural to them. You don't need to you can achieve that same goal in a way that's natural to you. For any woman who feels like, why am I getting men in my life who are not natural protectors, natural providers? I don't feel so relaxed with him. I don't feel so free with him. I don't feel so childlike with him. I don't feel like that. It's because you're probably in this tough, bad bitch, RBF, dark feminine energy, all this stuff, and you are going to attract a guy who's in his feminine energy. You don't want that. If you want to attract someone who's in his masculine energy, you want to be in your feminine energy. You don't want to be the villain version of a woman, right? You want to be the hero version of a woman. You want to be the peaceful version of a woman. And I know, that's not to say, oh, you've never grown up and seen anything tough and you haven't had tough relationships and all that. But that is your past, right? Now you want to look forward, and for you to look forward, you play the role of this gentle person, regardless of what your past has been. Stop looking in the rearview mirror and drive forward and conduct yourself and how you want your future to look, right? Your past is what it is. You've had the rude guys hitting on you in the gym that have made you feel uncomfortable. You've had all these things happen to you and you feel like you have to have this defensive face on, whether it's in romance or whether it's walking down the street. Try to, number one, create as safe of an environment as you can where you feel really comfortable being soft throughout your day without your safety being threatened, or put yourself in those places as much as you can, even if you can't make that your full-time environment. But really, really feel like you can walk around with a soft smile on your face. You want the hero version of a man, not the villain version of a man, right? Same thing for women. You want the person who is light and happy and joyful, not because they've been hurt so many times that they've got all these defense mechanisms on. So, and the thing is, when you're in this kind of gentle energy, when you're in this feminine energy, where you're not trying to tell him to schedule this, or hey, like, after 3 months, like, you should have asked me to be your girlfriend, or whatever, this and that, all these kind of timelines. When you are so relaxed, all you do, let him do whatever he wants to do and however he wants to do it. And if you like what you see, stick around. And if you don't like what you see, get up and leave. But do not, when you try to use force and willpower to keep things going the way you want, you will just exhaust yourself. You'll end up being with someone who's not a natural right match for you. If he was a natural right match for you, it would feel, those dates would feel natural. The commitment timeline that he is leading on would feel natural. And and all you have to do is sit back, enjoy, observe, have a fun time, engage. I'm not saying, oh, like, people have all these rules of, oh, I can't text first and this and that. Just observe and enjoy yourself. And if you don't like what you see, get up and go. But do not sit there and argue and fight for what you want in a relationship and say it should be like this, not this. Say, hey, these are my needs. I will communicate them to you. If you feel like they're not being met, I don't believe in saying something twice. If you really care about me, I only have to say it once. I listen to actions. I love this quote, turn the sound off of life, turn the sound down, and just listen to people's actions, not their words. And if I've, communicated this to you once and you haven't done it, I'm not going to communicate it a second time. I'm just going to get up and leave, because I don't want to fight this battle my whole life. You're obviously not a natural match for me. If you're the kind of woman who loves getting flowers once a week, if that's really important to you, you want to date a guy who's always done that for every single woman in his life. All the girlfriends he's ever had, he always got them flowers once a week. You don't want to find a guy who hasn't done that. Tell him and force him to do that, and then it's the struggle, the whole relationship of you saying, hey, remember, I told you flowers. He's not a natural match for you. There are women who don't care about getting flowers every week, and those are the kind of girls he should be dating. But you, if you're a woman who that's really important to you, you should be dating the kind of guy who naturally, he would feel weird if he didn't get flowers for his girlfriend every week. You need to find your natural match. And when you give up force, when you give up willpower, when you give up pushing, you are so much more relaxed. You're just enjoying yourself, and you will not have relationships that are unnatural, because if you're flowy and you're like water and you're not trying to force and push at things, you cannot align with something that isn't your mirror, right? You will have to use force and willpower to tell a guy to do this and do this and do this, and this is how I like this. And if you're just relaxed and you're like, yeah, you know what, no, that's not for me, and you're not trying to give instructions and push and pull, you will just naturally gravitate out of your life. And then the new guy who will gravitate is the guy who naturally meets all your expectations. And that's not to say you don't communicate preferences. You can say, hey, I like pink flowers more than yellow flowers, and things like that. There's a difference between preferences and forcing a behavior out of someone. If you find yourself forcing a guy, willing a guy to do something instead of saying, hey, I really like this, and seeing if he does something about it. If he does, great. If he doesn't, you're water. You're not going to try to push him and pull him to do it. You're like, this obviously is an unnatural pairing, and I need to find someone who is more naturally compatible with me. And when you're in that really, really deep feminine energy and you're just observing and you're with the flow and you're not trying to force anything, you will find all these masculine men start presenting themselves to you, because you are so light and joyful and happy in your life and peaceful in your life, because you are maintaining this softness in work. You are maintaining this softness in the gym. You are maintaining this softness when you're walking down the street, and that naturally attracts a provider, masculine men type. Yeah. Whew. Did I take a breath at all that whole time? I don't think I did. I love you guys. But yeah, just really, really, if you are like water in life, you will find that you natural partners will come in, and bad things you have to force. Bad things you have to force to keep them. Bad things naturally things that are bad for you naturally will not click with you, but you will say, no, I do want that, and you will have to force. You will have to go outside of yourself. You'll have to give instructions repeatedly. You will have to exhaust yourself. You'll feel drained, and you can get that bad thing if you want, but it is unnatural to your being. You have free will, and you can push and pull and keep something that is obviously not working for you. You can. But if you're like water and you are not working to keep anything, you're just working to align with what feels good. That doesn't mean turn your brain off. I'm telling you, be relaxed, but be observant. Let the guy you're dating act out of his own complete free will. I have no sense of wanting to control the guys that I'm dating. If I like what I see, I stick around. And if I don't like what I see, depending on where it falls on the range, I'll communicate it once, softly, gently. That again will trigger that kind of protector thing of, oh, okay, like I really want to care for this soft, gentle thing. So the more that you are water, the more that you are soft, you will attract these strong forces who want to, I don't know, whatever, stay on guard. But I've just seen that transition happen in my life, where I don't try to force any guys in my life to do anything that they don't want to do. I don't even, but I'm very observant. I'm a very good listener. More than listening, I'm watching. I turn the sound off and I watch his actions. And if I like it, great. And if I don't like it, I will actually have to force myself and like engage in conflict and do all these things, internal conflict and external conflict, to make that man stay in my life. And the thing is, I think about my past relationships, if I never pushed and pulled, that person would have naturally drifted out of my life, and it would have been a good thing, because I realize now that those were really unnatural, bad fits for me. But it was something that I had decided that I really wanted, and I was willing to go outside of myself to get it. And I was willing to use force on him to make sure that he delivered and met my needs. And it was unnatural to him. It was unnatural to me to be this forceful, willful person. And as a woman, your power is in your silence. Your power is in your watching. As a woman, your listening is very vulnerable. So I always say, turn the sound off when it comes to a guy and just watch his actions. I think in life in general, you can use that. Just observe as a woman. Don't force, don't push, don't do anything. Just watch him. And if you like it, great. And if you don't like it, dip. Cool. Love you.